Imagine a source of information where all events and even thoughts that have ever occurred in our world are recorded. Now imagine that this source allows you to access and review all of it. By using this primary source, which I am convinced is accessible to every person, we can discover the purpose of our lives and the causes of the challenges we face, challenges that we often perceive as unfairly bestowed upon us, said the renowned prophet Edgar Cayce about such a source of information. Edgar Cayce was not only capable of glimpsing into the future, he could also see a person's past. He claimed that he learned about a person's past from a cosmic source of information, a source where every individual leaves their imprint. Cayce had no definitive answer to who created this source, but he understood its primary purpose. He believed that this source of information primarily serves as a mechanism for the cause and effect development of each human soul. According to Cayce, the soul's development occurs only through its reincarnation. What did this famous prophet manage to uncover about this phenomenon? We knew each other in our past lives. Every person encounters situations in life where, upon meeting a stranger, they suddenly feel an inexplicable sense of kinship or hostility toward them. This happens because, in such moments, our subconscious memory reminds us that we knew this individual in our past lives, Cayce explained. Mentions of soul reincarnations can be found in nearly 2,000 of Cayce's readings. However, one of the most fascinating cases is the story of Anna Campbell, who first sought Cayce's help in early 1938. At that time, Anna was in complete despair. Her second marriage, like her first, was unhappy. She sought Cayce's guidance to determine whether she should save this marriage. When they first met, Edgar Cayce knew nothing about Anna. However, for us, it is helpful to learn about her background to connect the events of her life with Cayce's readings. Anna was born in a small town at the beginning of the last century. Her parents were farmers, and she had 4 brothers and 1 sister, Vera. While Anna got along with her brothers, her relationship with Vera was marked by constant conflict. When Anna was in the 8th grade, she noticed Robert in the schoolyard. Although they were not yet acquainted, Anna instinctively knew he was her destiny. This knowing was one of the experiences that stayed with her for the rest of her life. Anna's first such experience occurred while she was visiting her aunt. From her aunt's house, she could see a small swamp. When Anna first saw this area, she felt an overwhelming fear. At that moment, a single thought ran through her mind. I need to get out of here. She believed the swamp was dangerous and should be avoided. Meeting Robert was another extraordinary experience for Anna. When she first saw him, the moment seemed so significant that for a brief instant she lost awareness of everyone else around her. From then on, Anna dreamed of marrying him, even though Robert had a bad reputation in their town. After finishing school, Anna announced to her parents that she intended to marry Robert. Her parents opposed the union, so Anna eloped with him. However, their marriage was short-lived. 2 years later, Robert left Anna for another woman. From the book Edgar Cayce and the Akashic Records. A few years later, Anna met Alan. They soon got married, but their life together was unbearable. Anna did not love her second husband and often regretted marrying him. In the most miserable moments of her life, Anna dreamed that Robert would return to her. No matter how unhappy she had been with her first husband, she simply could not forget him. She stayed with Alan only in the hope of having children. By then she was nearing 30, yet still had no children. To address her problems, Anna decided to turn to Edgar Cayce for help. Anna Campbell's Past Lives. Edgar Cayce began his reading for Anna with the words, "Yes, we have the records of the entity you call Anna Campbell." During this session, Anna learned for the first time that her current life was deeply connected to her past lives. Previously, Anna did not believe in the existence of past lives. Edgar Cayce told Anna that more than 100 years ago, she had been born into a family of settlers. Her parents worked the land to make a living. Anna, however, was entirely self-absorbed and cared only about herself. At the age of 17, she ran away from home with a drifter, but she soon found herself abandoned and destitute. A woman who owned a tavern took her in, and Anna began working there, entertaining the tavern's guests in the evenings. A few years later, the town where Anna lived was attacked by Native Americans. Anna fled with the other townspeople, but the attackers pursued them and forced them into a swamp. Terrified, Anna kept thinking she needed to escape the area as quickly as possible. This was the exact phrase that came to her mind when she saw a similar swamp outside her aunt's house, a memory from her past life. During subsequent sessions, Edgar Cayce revealed more about Anna's other lives. One of her incarnations took place in France, and this life ultimately influenced her relationship with Robert. In that life, Robert was a man of influence. He secretly met with Anna, despite being married. Anna was unhappy with the infrequent nature of their encounters. Cayce's readings clarified why, in her current life, Anna felt such a strong desire to be with Robert, even though he treated her poorly in both lives. Cayce's readings also shed light on the cause of Anna's hostility toward her sister, Vera. In one of their past lives, Vera had married a man who was in love with Anna. Although Anna did not love him, she agreed to be with him out of pity. Vera, left alone, developed a deep resentment toward her rival. Edgar Cayce. Although Anna's life in the 19th century was not particularly long, she died at the age of 48. It was filled with events and held many lessons. All of this was reflected in her next life, which began in the 20th century in a small town. The reading further indicated that Anna still had much work to do on her relationship with Alan, hinting that if she did not address these issues in her current life, she would have to resolve them in her next incarnation. A year later, Robert reappeared in Anna's life and proposed that they live together again. But remembering Cayce's readings, Anna found the strength to decline his offer. Speaking about personal relationships, Edgar Cayce asserted that no encounter in our lives should be viewed as random. According to the prophet, in a new incarnation, we meet souls we were acquainted with in our past lives. Our relationships with another person begin at the point where they were interrupted in a previous life. However, this does not mean that a past life completely determines the future one. It merely forms a framework of possibilities recorded in the source of information. Which of these possibilities will manifest in the new life depends on the individual's choices. Edgar Cayce believed that all souls undergo reincarnation. He stated, "Reincarnation is an inherent and continuous attribute of every soul's life. Reincarnation is necessary for the soul's transformation and growth." But is this statement universally applicable to all souls? It is known that Edgar Cayce received confirmation of reincarnation in nearly 2,000 of his readings. However, it should be noted that many of these readings were conducted for a single individual. For example, Anna Campbell managed to have Cayce conduct 83 readings for her. Therefore, the 2,000 readings mentioning reincarnation may not be substantial enough to fully agree with Cayce's claim about the continuous reincarnation of every soul. Share your thoughts in the comments. How often do you experience déjà vu or feel like you've lived in a particular era?